So today I want to talk about something that is super important, and if you're not doing it already, it's something to definitely get started with today or in the very near future. And this was inspired from conversations I've been having recently with people and some of the coaching work that I've been doing. And that is to start getting very clear on what it is in life that excites you, that lights you up, that makes you feel good inside, that makes you smile, makes you happy, brings you joy. All of these things are super important to have at the forefront of your consciousness. And a lot of people that I've been speaking with lately, when I ask them these questions, they have no idea. And the issue with that is that when you ask them what they don't want, they can tell you like that. And so that shows right there that they have that at the forefront of their consciousness. They have those things that they're fearful of, those things that they're worried about, that they're trying to avoid, that they wouldn't want to happen. That is at the surface level rather than the things that excite them and light them up about life. And I think we start to lose sight of that as we go on in our adult lives. We have so many things happening, and we lose sight of what's really important and really why we're here, living this life, to learn, to experience, to be happy, and to feel fucking joy. So one of the ways that you can start doing this is you can just take some time every day to write down things that genuinely excite you. I like to take it back to when I was a kid and things that I used to love to do. For an example, I used to love to be outside. I used to love to play sports, anything on wheels, rollerblading, bikes, go-karts, dirt bikes, anything like that I loved. I loved to be in plays as a little kid. I loved when people would laugh. I liked to be silly and be goofy and make weird faces and things like that. And so like reconnecting with these, it does so much good for you, because what happens, there's this book that I read a couple years ago called Psycho-Cybernetics by this guy Maxwell Maltz. And I love this book because it's a tough book to get through, but it was really important, and some of the exercises in it were fantastic. But he relates the mind to an internal GPS system. And what is at the forefront of your consciousness, what your mind will start to gather evidence for in its environment. So if you're constantly thinking about things that make you happy, and that's what your focus is shifting towards rather than the opposite, which is a place that a lot of us find ourselves stuck in, your mind will begin to then work for you rather than against you. So it will start to be your ally, and it will scan every environment you go in and look for evidence and look for things that are going to give you more feelings of happiness, of joy, of fulfillment, of excitement, of lighting you up. So we want our minds to be working in the function of a GPS in a way that serves us, because right now a lot of us have our minds working in a way that does no longer serve us. And it's important to have these things identified, the things that light you up and make you happy and make you excited, because when you know these things and you think about them, another cool aspect of this is when you think about these things and write them down, it also brings to the surface your limiting beliefs. You might find that when you're writing this stuff down and you start to become aware of things maybe that you haven't reconnected with in a while, limiting beliefs will come up around that as well. You know, maybe something like, you don't deserve that, or you're not good enough, or who are you to do these things, or some kind of self-worth sabotage internally. The ego will start to say things to you to try to sabotage you from taking these new measures and changing your thoughts, because you've become so used to these thoughts. They're rooted into your neural pathways, and anytime you're changing that, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Another reason it's important to consciously know these things that excite you, make you happy, and light you up is that the more it's in your consciousness, the more that you're thinking about it, the more that, like I said before, your mind's going to go to work and find evidence of that and try to bring more of that towards you in your life. So therefore, you're going to experience more moments of happiness, more moments of excitement, more moments of feeling your inner power and feeling good about yourself, which is really your natural state. Anything outside of that truly is a lie. Any fear is really an illusion. It's survival that's still from our ancestors in our DNA that is not relevant in today's age anymore. So another important piece is becoming aware of that, and when that does come up, don't identify with it. Don't identify with that fear. Know it for what it is. Separate yourself. Oh, I feel this fear right now, or I feel this uncomfortable feeling as I'm doing these exercises. I'm feeling this old limited belief which is making me scared or making me feel small or making me feel limited again. And know that that's not the real you, because the real you is where you're feeling good. It's your joy. It's what lights you up. It's what's getting you amped. It's what's creating good feelings inside of your body. That is your truth, not anything that's causing harmful, toxic chemical reactions and stress hormones and cortisol to flush out through your system. That can't be your truth. So start to get familiar with these things that bring you joy every day. At the beginning of your day, at the end of your day, think about these things. Start to intentionally bring these thoughts into your life that give you feelings of goodness, feelings of lit the fuck up inside of you. The fire is burning. Create momentum towards this. It's super important, because if you don't, you're going to keep having the same hamster wheel thoughts over and over again. And if you don't like what you've been experiencing in your life and what you've created so far, you're just going to keep riding that ride, baby. Keep riding it until you intentionally change your thoughts. And I'm not saying that's a super easy thing, but it takes consistency. So you need to revisit these things over and over again. Get very, very clear what it is that gives you these good feelings. And even if it doesn't happen right away when you first sit down to do this, really keep doing it. Keep going at it, because I guarantee you the more that you start to think about this stuff, you will start to dig into your subconscious. You'll have dreams where you'll remember things that lit you up when you were a kid. You will have moments when you're in your car and you're having a daydream, and all of a sudden something will pop through. You're like, oh, I used to do that, or I used to love doing that. And you'll be surprised at what comes up from the depths when you start to change the way that you think and you start to pull yourself out of that hamster wheel of thought of the same thing over and over again, mostly negative. So you want to get to the point where if someone asks you, hey, what are you interested in? What excites you in life? What are you inspired by? What motivates you? What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What makes you smile like fucking crazy? Be able to know exactly what to say to that person. You have those things at the forefront of your consciousness, like without batting an eye. The same way that you can tell someone things that you don't want in your life, things that you wouldn't want to happen to you. It's counteracting that thought, those negative thoughts at the forefront of your consciousness, and replacing them with ones that are serving you. We want to make the mind our ally. We want the mind to be feeding us automated thoughts of inspiration, empowerment, love, gratitude, connection, all of these wonderful things that are really why we're here. We're here to experience and learn, of course, and there's going to be rough feelings involved with that, but the majority of the time we want to be feeling good. That's just natural, right? So get super clear on this. Get so clear on it, I promise you that things will start to shift very quickly, even just after 2 weeks of visiting this, and really get to the point, like I said, where you know the answer to this question right off the bat, and I can promise you that things are going to shift in your life. So I just wanted to share that message with you really quick, because it's been coming up so much, and you will start to identify, your mind will start to become your friend the way that it was always supposed to. Your imagination will kick in. It will start to play with you more. It will invite out the inner child that's been suppressed within you, that's been buried below all this negativity and responsibility and anxiety and stress, all these things. The inner child comes out, the imagination kicks in, and all of a sudden life starts to change. Why? Because the outer is a reflection of the inner, and it all stems from thought. And the other just quick piece of this is that we want to start connecting more to our hearts, and we want to start being more in the present moment. Because when we're in the present moment, we're not up in the mind, we're not caught up in the old stories, the old limitations, the old beliefs, the old perceptions that we used to have that kept us in a reality that we don't like. We're shifting all of that now. So the more present we can become and in the moment and have our awareness in our bodies and taking everything in that's going on around us and being aware of, you know what, I want to smile right now. I'm choosing to feel good. I am in the present moment, and in that moment I'm choosing to feel good and find what is inspiring me in this environment, what makes me feel good in this environment. So it's like anything else. It's a practice, and if you keep doing it, you will get better at it. It will integrate into you more and more, and it will start to become you. And you have to keep revisiting it. Repetition is the way to speak to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is the home of your old beliefs and limitations. So that's what we're trying to change. So we need to be able to speak to that, and we do so by consistency and repetition. It's practicing. It's going to the gym for your mind, because once we put in the work, once we get in the gym a few days a week, after a couple of months we start seeing the results, we feel really good about it. And all of a sudden we have a much more positive mindset, and we're having experiences that are way more joyful and are bringing us feelings of empowerment and fulfillment and all things that feel good. And the last thing that I just want to say on this is, guys, we deserve this for ourselves, okay? The little boy, the little girl inside of you, they deserve this, okay? We need to shift things, get out of here, get out of the craziness and the old stories and these fucking just ridiculous limitations that we put on ourselves, and thinking that reality is so concrete. And we know it's not that way anymore. So it's taking this journey, getting out of here, connecting back to your heart. That's where your inner child is, okay? Let's start thinking about things that make us feel good, right? Like let's have our mind be our ally again. That's feeding us good thoughts. That's looking for joy. That's looking for experiences of fun and something that's going to make us smile, or ways to inspire other people or serve other people, right? Like we want our mind to be scanning the environment for all of these things, not for potential threats or drama or whatever other bullshit it's scanning for all the time. We want to reverse that, and we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to start to do things even just once a day. If it's just do a little dance, you know, sing a song, play an instrument, whatever it is that just makes you feel alive again, you know, it shakes off all the dust from working in an office all day or doing something maybe you didn't want to be doing, you know, have a nice conversation with an old friend, or whatever it is, guys, whatever it is that's in your heart, just start to think about this more. This is a super important thing to do for your life. It's going to affect everyone else around you. You know, you don't want to be that hardened person that secretly no one even wants to be around because you're not that fun, and people are like, oh, I guess I have to invite them. You know, like, you want to be someone that is bringing joy everywhere that you go, and is bringing a positive attitude, and is bringing up people around them. And this will be a result of changing your thinking towards things that are oriented in a positive way, and knowing the answer to these questions of what lights you up, what excites you, what stimulates you, what motivates you, what makes you feel like fucking you. And I promise you, when you start to have these thoughts and intentionally think about them more and more, you are going to be way more inspired and prone to telling other people about them. It will come up a lot. Trust me on this, okay? I promise you this will happen. You will find yourself in conversations where maybe the other person is sharing those things about them, and then you're sharing that about you, or you start off by sharing these joyful things that inspire you to the other person, and then it gets them to share back with you, you know, the things that bring them those feelings as well. And you'll start to see these pop everywhere. The conversation becomes normal now, instead of this, mundane weather or things that you're complaining about or things that are going wrong or whatever the fuck it is. So that's the last piece that I want to say on it, and I'm glad I got to share this, just because it's been something that's been coming up so much. You have to pay attention to patterns and things that keep cycling, keep showing up. So just wanted to get that out there. Much love to all of you, and I'll see you next time.